A while ago, I posted a video of myself soldering a SOIC 8 package. And I did that with a 1.6 millimeter chisel tip just to show that it was relatively easy, relatively straightforward. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to solder a QFP 32 package. It's a 0.8 millimeter package, and in this case, it's a 32-pin ATMEGA328PB. In order to do this, I am going to use a 2 millimeter cupped soldering tip. So this is for doing gull wing pins. And I'm going to use the same solder that I always do. It's MG Chemicals 4884227G, which is 6337 tin lead solder. I'm going to use the Kester 186 liquid flux that I always use. I'm going to use my plastic cheapy Weller tools, and I'm going to use a pair of tweezers. So relatively straightforward activity today. So let's get started with this. First thing that we need to do is sort of get the chip into position. Where's the one? The one is up here, and the one locator is there on the chip. So we'll get it sort of into position. And then I'm going to flux it as I always do, and I'm going to add a lot of flux. That's one thing, chefs, when they're talking about mistakes that amateur cooks do, is not to use enough salt. And in the case of soldering, one of the mistakes that lots of beginners do is not to use flux, and lots of flux. So you can see that I flooded this chip with flux. Now I've got my solder out here. I'm going to get it into the field of view so that you can see it. And let's get it up here. There, can we see it? We can see it. All right. So I've got my soldering tip here. I'm going to clean it. I'm going to tin it a little bit. Just get some tin on it just so that it doesn't corrode. And then I'm going to put that back in the rack. And I'm going to position the chip. And the first thing that we need to do, as always, is get the chip lined up. And so I'm going to line it up so that all four sides are lined up with the pads. That's pretty good. Maybe a little bit on this side. There we go. That's pretty good. So I'm going to hold it in position there. I'm going to tack one pin. Just randomly pick one. Let's pick this one because it's close to me. So that one's tacked. Then I'll tack another one up here, just so that we've got 2 points tacked. There, that one's tacked. Okay, chip's not going anywhere. Check the alignment. It looks good on all four sides. All the pins are lined up. So now we're just going to drag solder it. So a little bit of solder in the cup on the soldering iron. And then we'll just drag down the side, soldering as we go. Drag off the end there. That side is soldered. So then we get a little bit more solder in the cup, and we'll solder this side. That side is soldered. A little bit more solder in the cup and go down this side. Hard to reach around there to do that one. There we go. And then a little bit more solder. And we'll go down this side. If I can reach it. There we go. We're on it. Solder down this side. Oops, I missed a pin there. I missed that one right there. There we go. So that's all soldered. That's all it takes to solder a QFP using a 2 millimeter cupped tip. Now, as always, a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and my brush. This is an acid brush that I've modified here. I've just shortened the bristles so that it's stiffer, so that when I scrub with it, it has more effect. Just give it a good scrub there. A little bit of stubborn flux right there. Get in and give that a scrape. A little bit there. Alright, so quick scrub, and then a little bit of a rinse. Give it a dry with a Kim wipe. There you go. A nicely soldered QFP 32 with 0.8 millimeter pin pitch.